Good night again, everyone. I'm sorry I haven't been on the, here to talk to you earlier for the last 2 days because, of course, I had a problem with the FBI. I would like to talk first about that. Well, what happened on Friday night, I came in from being out, getting myself together for the holiday. And when I came in, I had some water and I had a tangerine to eat. Then I had made a drink that we usually make in Jamaica. It's a tambourine drink. It's a special fruit that you mix. You boil the tamarind and then you mix it and you put a little baking soda and just a little sugar. It's most of a natural thing. After I did that, after I drank just a little less than a half a cup, I felt like I was dying. What I finally realized is that when I looked at the content that was in the container, it didn't look the same, and I realized that somebody had spiked it. Most, of course, the FBI. It was spiked. I immediately got very sick. Stomach started hurting. I was passing in and out of consciousness. I didn't know what was going on. So I lay down for about an hour. Then I was awoken by me choking. I rushed to the restroom and I was just throwing up the whole time. I sat in the commode and I was choking. It's just everything, top and bottom. It was obvious that I was being poisoned by the FBI. The contents that I was bringing up from my stomach was very disturbing because I didn't have much in my stomach to start with, but it looks like something was scraping my stomach. You could see little bits of things, like somebody was scraping inside me. And the same was true when I went to the restroom. This went on all night for at least 4 hours. I've been sitting on the toilet for about 4 hours, and I was throwing up at the same time. I was very scared. By the time the morning came around, I was too weak to do anything. I laid in bed all day Saturday. I was afraid to call anyone because I didn't know what was going on. And I spent all day just drinking water to kind of purge my system. I had a special tea that I got from Jamaica in the West Indies. It's called a busy tea. I boiled some of that and I drank some because it's known to purge the system if there's anything toxic in the system. So I boiled some of that, a cup, and I drank that, and I could feel myself getting a little better. Then later in the evening, I boiled some Circe tea. That's another Jamaican tea. They call it bush tea. And I drank some of that and went back to bed. I slept all day Saturday and all day Sunday. When I got up Sunday evening, I felt much, much better. But I knew that my drink was spiked by the FBI. I am scared of the FBI. They're ready to kill me. I know that. And the reason they're ready to kill me is because they know that U.S. Congress and the U.S. Senate has started their investigation against them on my behalf. And from what I understand, President Trump is also might have known about it as well, because I've been getting constant emails and texts from him. So he might have heard about the situation. But either way, he needs to know. I'm going to make sure he does. I did go to the courthouse this morning in Greenbelt, Maryland, to the federal courthouse to ask for a restraining order against the FBI. They told me to file a complaint. I told them I would be back. I would bring them some evidence first, and I'll be back. So I'm going to do that in the meantime as well until the Senate and the Congress gets back into session next month, because the sooner they do, the better it is and the safer I will feel. Right now I don't feel safe. The FBI is determined to do me in because I wouldn't spy for them on the army when I was in Iraq, and this is where everything started, and they've gotten progressively worse. The injustices I've had to experience over the more than 21 years since I met with the FBI is getting to the point where they're ready to close the book on me, and I have to start. Another thing they did too, as I had mentioned before, when I was traveling to Texas, I had stopped at various gas stations to fill up the car as we went on to Texas. One time when we stopped at one of the gas stations, we went inside to pay for the gas as well as to get something to eat, and while we were there, the FBI used the key that they have to my car without my knowledge and permission. They went to Nissan and got a key to my car, so I have no privacy. They do what they darn well please. But what happened, they did take out, I had an attaché case there with some receipts and everything from my hotel as I was traveling, and from payments I've made on my credit cards and stuff like that. Well, in that attaché case was a receipt to Chase Bank on my credit card that I'd paid $150 that on the 29th. The FBI took that. They called Chase Bank and told Chase Bank to remove that payment because I didn't have a receipt. And so it wouldn't show that I made payment. When I went today to the bank and looked, that was true. There's no payment shown, and I made a payment, and I've asked them to pull their cameras because the camera would show. But not only that, I noticed I had a copy of it that I had taken pictures. The FBI has been going into my bank account and do what they darn well please. And I've gotten to the point where every time I make a transaction, I'm making a photograph of it. The FBI are criminals, and they will do anything at this point to destroy my credibility, which they have done already. They have made a videotape claiming I'm a child molester and a prostitute, and yet they can't prove it because it never happened. They're law enforcement, and they can't even touch me, because if they claim that and claim they have tape recorder of me doing that, why haven't they arrested me? Because they made it up themselves, them and the OSI from Andrews Air Force Base, Joint Base Andrews. They made that videotape up because when I went to Andrews and talked to OSI, I told them about the deadly device the FBI put in the car. It's a gassing device in the back of my car, in the trunk. And I told them what they did. They recorded it with what I had to say about that device. They recorded it, then they deleted what I had to say, and the FBI put in their own words. So the reason the FBI is running around and showing people and not giving it to the court or for them to arrest me is because it's a lie, and they know it's a lie, and they take it to people who don't care and show them the video, and they don't even use their common sense to say, well, if she confessed, why haven't she been arrested? They don't think like that. They let the FBI think for them because they're stupid, and the FBI pay them. And that's what they've been doing to all the banks. They've gone to Andrews Federal Credit Union. They've done to Navy Federal Credit Union. They've gone to Chase. They've gone to USAA. All these people to have me defamed. And, I don't care because I know the truth, and the truth is going to come out when it goes to when the Senate does the investigation, because they have to provide that videotape to the Senate, and they would validate it to see that it's cut and paste, just like you do in a movie. I've never hurt any child or any person, grown up or otherwise. Never. And the FBI cannot prove that, and I don't care, because I know I'm going to go after them, and I'm going to sue them for everything they have, and I'm going to hopefully see if I can put their butts in jail. The FBI are criminals. They are pathological liars, and they're cold-blooded killers, and they proved that Friday when they tried to kill me. So I just want to bring this to your attention, and to keep you informed of what else is going on. But in the meantime, I just want to wish you all a happy holiday and a very safe one. Thanks again for listening to my problem. Thanks. Good night.